Ethan's eyes snapped open to the sound of distant, maniacal laughter echoing through cold, metallic corridors. The air was thick with the scent of rust and something sharper, fear. A dull ache pulsed at the back of his head, where a fresh wound throbbed. Flickering neon lights cast erratic shadows on the graffiti-marred walls, the most prominent of which was a chilling grin painted in crimson, the Joker's twisted signature. Disoriented, he struggled to his feet, only to hear a distorted voice crackle through hidden speakers. "Welcome, dear players, to my little game. Freedom and fortune await, if you're willing to take them. Let the games begin." Around him, others were waking, their faces a mix of confusion and dread. Maya stood silently, her emerald eyes scanning the room with a calculated intensity. A scar peeked from beneath her sleeve, a remnant of battles fought both within and without. She clenched a silver locket tightly in her fist, a tether to a past she couldn't forget. Beside her was Alex, a towering figure with a military bearing. His stern facade masked the turmoil beneath, shadows of lost comrades flickering in his gaze. Liam huddled against a wall, his fingers tapping a nervously erratic rhythm on his thigh. Barely out of college, his brilliance was eclipsed by the anxiety that now threatened to consume him. Each carried secrets heavier than the concrete walls surrounding them, bound together by circumstance and the primal urge to survive. The labyrinth they found themselves in was a mechanized nightmare, a symphony of hissing pipes and clanking gears hidden behind steel panels. The corridors twisted and turned, illuminated sporadically by sparking wires that cast fleeting glimpses into the oppressive darkness. The atmosphere was suffocating, as if the walls themselves were closing in. Whispers wove through the air, indistinct and haunting, leaving the unsettling impression that they were being watched from every angle. A damp chill seeped into their bones, and the metallic taste of impending doom lingered on their tongues. The Joker's presence was everywhere and nowhere, an omnipresent phantom orchestrating their every move. As they ventured deeper, the true horror of their situation unfolded. Traps lurked around every corner. A floor panel gave way under Ethan's feet, nearly plunging him into a pit of jagged spikes before Alex pulled him back just in time. Razor-thin wires snapped out from the walls, slicing the air where Maya's head had been moments before. The Joker's taunting voice offered twisted encouragements. "Careful now, wouldn't want the game to end too soon." Paranoia festered. Supplies were scarce, and the promise of freedom and a grand prize dangled before them like a poisoned carrot. Tensions flared when a cache of weapons was discovered, each gleaming blade and loaded gun a potential lifeline, or a tool for betrayal. The group's fragile alliance began to crumble. Alex, eyes hardened by desperation, argued that they needed to take control. Eliminate the threats to increase their own chances of survival. "It's us or them," he insisted, gripping a handgun with white-knuckled intensity. Liam backed away, fear widening his eyes. "There has to be another way," he stammered, his voice barely above a whisper. Maya stood between them, her gaze icy. "If we turn on each other, he wins," she said, her words edged with conviction, yet laced with doubt. Trust eroded as the lines between ally and enemy blurred under the Joker's relentless psychological assault, his interjections revealing personal traumas they thought long buried. The maze led them to a grand chamber adorned with mirrors, their reflections distorted and fragmented. The ceiling rose into darkness, and the floor was an intricate mosaic of pressure plates. In the center stood a pedestal cradling a single key, gleaming, golden, and undoubtedly significant. "Ah, the moment of truth," the Joker purred. "Only one can claim the prize. Who will it be?" The room's exit sealed shut with an ominous clang. The walls began to inch inward, mirrors screeching as they scraped the floor. Panic ignited. Alex leveled his gun at Ethan, his face a mask of resolve tainted by fear. "I can't die here," he growled. Maya brandished a knife, positioning herself defensively. Liam sank to the ground, overwhelmed by the chaos. Ethan's mind raced, fragments of the Joker's taunts coalescing into a revelation. "Wait," he shouted, lowering his makeshift weapon. "This isn't about killing each other, it's about breaking us." He glanced at the mirrors, noticing how certain reflections didn't align. An illusion. Ignoring Alex's warning glare, he darted toward one of the misaligned panels and smashed it with a fallen pipe. Beyond the shattered glass lay a tangle of wires and circuitry, the maze's nervous system. "Help me disable it," he called out. Maya hesitated before joining him, her knife slicing deftly through the exposed cables. Liam rose, a spark of determination lighting his eyes as he manipulated the wires, his technical prowess overcoming his fear. Alex stood conflicted, the weapon in his hand feeling heavier than ever. Finally, with a defeated sigh, he turned and fired at the control panels, the bullets disrupting the system with showers of sparks. The grinding wall shuddered to a halt, and the overhead lights blazed to life before bursting in a hail of glass. Silence enveloped them, thick and heavy. Then a slow clap echoed throughout the chamber. "Bravo," the Joker mused, his tone a blend of amusement and irritation. "Perhaps there's hope for you yet." A hidden door creaked open, revealing a dimly lit passageway leading to the outside world. Relief washed over them, but it was tainted by exhaustion and the weight of what might have been. Stepping into the fresh air, the survivors lingered on the threshold between darkness and dawn. The sky was streaked with hues of pink and orange, a stark contrast to the bleakness they'd endured. Alex sank to his knees, the gun slipping from his grasp. "I was ready to—" He couldn't finish the thought, shame etching deep lines on his face. Maya placed a tentative hand on his shoulder, her own eyes reflecting the turmoil within. "We did what we had to do to survive," she whispered, though the words offered little comfort. Liam gazed back at the shadowed structure, a mixture of relief and lingering terror shadowing his features. "Will it ever really be over?" he wondered aloud. Ethan watched them, his own emotions a turbulent storm. They had outsmarted the Joker, but at what cost? The revelations of their darkest secrets, the fraying of their moral fibers, the realization of how easily desperation could eclipse humanity, it all weighed heavily. "We may have escaped his maze," he said quietly, "but the real challenge is what comes next." The others nodded solemnly, understanding that the scars they bore were more than physical. As they began to walk away, a soft breeze carried a faint echo of sinister laughter. Ethan paused, a chill running down his spine. He glanced back to see a flicker of movement, a shadow disappearing into the residual darkness. Uncertainty gnawed at him. Was the Joker truly done with them? Or was this merely another layer of his intricate game? The sun edged over the horizon, casting long shadows that stretched ahead like fragments of the maze they had left behind. They moved forward into the new day, each step heavy with the knowledge that while they had survived the Joker's traps, the real battle lay in confronting the darkness within themselves. The road ahead was uncertain, but they carried with them a fragile hope. A hope that perhaps, together, they could find redemption and reclaim the pieces of their shattered lives. The haunting echoes of their ordeal would linger, but so too would the bond forged in the crucible of fear, a testament to their resilience in the face of unimaginable horror.